So it's really important to understand the agenda. You always want to understand who's on the agenda, why are they on the agenda, right? And their functional role within the organization, and their title as well, because that will help you position your questions and observations and allow you to drive your discovery. You should always have an agenda before you go into the interview, right? Either the company should supply it or the search firm should supply it.
And if they don't, that shows kind of their company culture.
Right. And if you can't have an agenda with who, title, why, and how long are you going to be with them,
it's not very transparent.
no, and it should give you an indication of you might be walking into something that you may want to really dig in deeper to, right? So who, first of all, who's on it? You want a name, you want a title, because that will determine the questions you ask and the relevancy of the question, because if you're interviewing with a salesperson, a marketing person, an engineering person, or an operations person, those are all questions that are quite different.
You want to be able to empathize with the interviewer by understanding what lens they're looking you through. So if it's your supervisor that you'll be reporting to, they're going to want to look at you as far as how their management style might affect you. That's just one example. So by doing your homework on who's in the agenda and who you're speaking with, you can really, again, align your background experience to who's asking the questions.
Yeah, example, let's use the restaurant as an example again, right? So if I'm going in and I'm interviewing as the maitre d' at a restaurant, and on the agenda is the owner, is the bartender, and is the head waiter. Well, the position description, for the most part, about 70% of it will be common to all. As human beings, we're selfish as to, well, what's in it for me as I interview you? The owner is going to want to know from an owner's perspective, and you want to position your experience relative to them. The bartender's going to want to know from his selfish perspective.
Are you going to stock my, are you going to do the things that I ask you to do?
Right. Are you going to
when
help
I
me
need
make
you?
more money?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the head waiter, are you going to be able to service me?
Right.
And then as the interviewee, understanding and positioning your questions to who's on the agenda is critical.
And just to go back to the type of clients that we work with, especially when it's a young company, you're very cross-functional. So the more cross-functional that you can be and the more aware you are of how you can add value to each person is really helping you lead to a better offer because you understand and you're asking the right questions.
That's true. And I'll finish with this. The best debrief statement that we look for at the end of every interview is this. Wait for it. That's, wow, he or she asked really good questions. And we're going to spend a little time in this series on one of the next modules of how do you ask the best questions.
Questions equal engagement, they equal understanding.
Correct.